and gentlemen, and welcome back to more of the Summit 6 European Qualifier. We are in the finals now of this best of 5. We're about to embark onto game number 4?
Game number 4.
Game number 4. It's Virtus Pro up with 2 wins against Finem, who started real sharp on the back of a Madara Slark there, Blaze, but these last 2 games, you can't help but scratch your head a little bit as far as how the Finem's drafts go, but these drafts don't get any more normal, Blaze.
Nope. And I think that they expected the Luna to come out here, but it's going to be Virtus Pro's kind of pocket strat, I guess you could call it. We're going to be seeing most likely like heroes like Centaur, Axe, anybody that can really create buffer space for Sniper. Pretty much frontlining for this hero, who's going to be the hero that does actually all the damage on the back line. So,
but why do you have to get it here and now so early? Like, it's not like it's going to get banned, and I don't see anything unless the Outworld Devour is just the secret. Like, they're going for the Sniper as a secret OD counter pick. I just don't know why it has to be here and now. Like, why do I have to look at his ugly face here and now, Blaze?
I mean, it raises some questions if you don't pick up the Luna as the second pick here. It's like Drow's banned, you picked up Shadow Demon, where's the Luna? And, you know, there's the inkling that it might be banned out. I don't know. It has been a hero that they have selected. I mean, like, obviously these teams do research on one another. That's a reason that Lil drops his items, is these teams are practicing, they're preparing, they know each other. And I think there's actually a realistic chance that it could have been banned. Maybe only like 40%, but you don't take that chance. You pick up the Sniper when you want the Sniper. So now with Virtus Pro having a not 2-game advantage, but a 2-to-1 advantage here in the best of 5, they're pulling out one of their more interesting pickups. But Finem, I think part of this draft, Spartan is showing that to his team, if nobody else, that he's confident that what happened in the last game happened in the last game, and this is a new one. And the reason I say that is because look at their reserve time. They have not wasted a second. It's been snap picks every single chance. The bands contemplated a little bit more, discussed a little bit more, but OD, Mirana, Nyx, spam, bam, bam. We know what we want. We know what we're going to do this game. And it shows that they are trying to shake off whatever happened in that previous one, whatever in their minds thought that Warlock Axe was a good support duo, and focus on the here and now. And we're going to be seeing, looks like Skylark offlane, Nyx Assassin, imagine Thug on the OD, and the Mirana, it's still kind of up in the air.
You just can't help but feel like when you walk away from the drafting style for at least the last 2 games and this one already, it's like, yeah, it's obvious Finem are looking to play their own game and do their own style, but you know, how far do you go down that road without really giving too much respect to your opponents in their lineup? We'll have to see. I like the Nyx Assassin grab. I would imagine just any kind of casual walk carapace into a shrapnel will stop Sniper in his tracks, so that's a good way to kind of lock the little man out of place, because as we know, with the benefit of having even a Dragon Lance, let's say, on top of his take aim, he could sit way far back and behind and be able to just kind of create the space between him and where the chaos is actually breaking out. But as we move forward, more funky picks begin to come out here. First Pro will grab up a nice standard grab, and the Beastmaster providing that, you know, BKB breaking stun and lockdown, plus you get the extra vision. You're on Roche side. It'll be nice to have the Hawk to work with, of course. But then Finem go right into an Ancient Apparition. This isn't an AA also to like nerf down any sort of heavy sustain or defensive heroes. There's no Wisp here. There's no Oracle. There's no Dazzle. It could be maybe a bit of a deny pick. Could it be to prevent a potential Huskar grab? I know Finem to have always picked up the AA in the past quite a bit, Blaze, but you know, it's just another one of those things that they're getting it for themselves on what they want to do, it feels like.
I think their plan is to snipe the Sniper. Nyx AA is really good because if you just scout targets, because Vendetta has 40 seconds now at level 1, so what you can do is just scout targets, keep an eye on them, lead the Ice Blast when they're like farming in a neutral camp or something, open with Vendetta, impale, Ice Blast, and just burst somebody down.
I could see a Clockwork coming out. I know Clockwork has been off the radar. Finem at least gave it the respect to ban it last in the previous game. But when I hear that kind of setup, Nyx Assassin, AA coming in, Clockwork can jump the gap, get a hole in Sniper's face. I don't know. That just popped in my mind. I wanted to make sure I got it out there first.
Sure. The problem, I think it is going to be a Scarlark Nyx Assassin. Support Nyx Assassin brings a lot less in terms of that early quick burst combo. So I feel like you only need one hero to do that. Beastmaster, Nyx Assassin, or Clockwork are all really good setup enablers, and I think the Nyx actually was also a bit of a denial pick because Virtus Pro, one of the last 2 times they picked up Sniper, had a Nyx to create that buffer. Like I said, Centaur, and we had Ursa, Slardar, Ogre, Sand King, Nyx Assassin. These are the heroes that really give Sniper that space and allow him to play it back. So a lot of those heroes got banned in this draft. We're actually going to be seeing the Juggernaut come out as the final selection for VP. And
Jesus, man, they did not even wait a
All right.
second. They just got the Weaver right away, and it's going to be a Spartan Marana. Madara hops over and onto the Weaver.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much what I expected. Marana support makes the most sense here. A safe lane Marana, I have seen it, but I've never really seen the potential in it in the late game. Like, it's great mid game, and then it falls off, and you're kind of awkward about it. I like the fact that Marana can get early levels in the mid and can get that Aghanims and burst combo, but if you're putting Thug in the mid for OD, you don't want to couple it with the Marana. You want to get something that isn't completely countered by Magic Community, because OD, you hitting a BKB target doesn't really accomplish too much. Marana, same thing, because all your damage is magical, or a lot of it at least. So getting this kind of mix of physical and magical and pure, the damage output is really the key to Finem's ability to take targets down. So I like overall the idea of having the support Marana roaming around, sniping the sniper, as I mentioned. But that just left the question of what Madara would actually play. And as I mentioned, he likes to be in your face. Not going to get to play the Sven or the Juggernaut. Well, he gets to play the Weaver. And with the Chilling Touch applying twice over with a single Geminate, you should be able to put some really good damage in.
That, in the laning phase, like right off the bat, we already know Chilling Touch to be like one of the better level 1 skills in the game, being able to amplify not just yourself, but everyone around you with that ridiculous amount of bonus damage, even right off the bat at level 1. And yeah, as you mentioned, Gemini benefiting from it too means that their laning phase could be pretty damn imposing and could force Virtus Pro to kind of, I don't know if it's necessary to make any sort of adjustments, but just something they will have to prepare for. We are missing one Virtus Pro member who is at attendance now. It looks like we'll be able to get underway here as we get started for game number 4 of our European final. One team will advance and make it to the Summit LAN, while another team will have to, well, give it another shot next season, unfortunately.
Yeah, so we are going to be seeing that Skylark ends up going for a Fairy Fire Iron Branch instead of the Mango. I personally really love Mango on Nyx Assassin level. There's at least one is going to give you insane HP regeneration here. He feels like he's worried about getting bursted down. He sees the potential for the disruption into Blade Fury. It says, I don't want none of that. I want to be able to sustain the lane, and I could do that with Tango Cell, but I need at least one Fairy Fire to make sure that I don't just get straight up comboed. And that's fine. I mean, if you get Fissure blocked out, that's probably the situation that occurs. So it's just a deviation where he doesn't do as much long-term in the lane, but short-term he won't be feeding First Blood as often. Anyways, beyond that, Madara going to be starting off with Wraithband into Aquila and putting out some pretty good damage into this Beastmaster. Pashu is actually considering Iron Talon here, but he hasn't picked it up yet.
Yeah, I don't know if he has to like just bail on the lane altogether. Do you think that might be necessary? I mean, AA and Weaver hit pretty damn hard.
Right now I'm seeing Ramsey's actually heading bottom. It looks like Boots is going to be a choice for Posh. So they've been talking about the lanes in their dialogue in the team, apparently, and they're actually going to be sending the Beastmaster into the safe lane against the Nyx Assassin with Boots.
How do you feel about that matchup? Beastmaster does like his one-on-ones typically, but a Nyx Assassin might be a bit different of a matchup. Carapace kind of getting involved in the mana draining.
I swear I saw Boots in just the stash picked up, but he sold it real quick and picks up the Iron Talon instead. Maybe some super mind games for the casters, I'm not too sure, but he definitely picked up Boots Fairy Fire and then sold them and now has the Iron Talon. So going back to what we originally expected, and I think the main reason for that is that Juggernaut is just so much better against a Nyx than a Weaver. Like, Nyx can do nothing against Blade Fury. Weaver, just shoot Coochies away. So I really do think this is a big difference maker here, and they end up going for the more traditional sense. Beastmaster is going to be mostly jungling here as he goes in for the Wild Wing camp, and that's going to give Madara a free lane. Whether he chooses to push this under tower to get the early gold bounty for his team and get a little bit of a map advantage around the Rush Pit, or at the risk of giving Beastmaster some extra experience, or if he just wants to static farm and at least guarantee specific items to start getting involved, either way can work.
And it works wonderfully for the supports for Finem here. Now, maybe next time doesn't have to worry about zoning anyone back or any funny business like that. He could just work with the jumble camp, so he gets good solo kind of XP to work with on the support, which will bump him up quite a bit, which AA faster to get into level 6 is going to make the mid-game that much nicer. I mean, Spartan doesn't have to put too much attendance towards that lane at the bottom. It leaves him
they might just have a free kill on Lil Mid. Like, straight up, he can just be imprisoned, arrowed. There's almost no escape.
There's the imprison. There's the lineup for the arrow. Is the timing going to be there? No, it's too early. And flies on through.
Yeah, I think that's a free kill. That's actually a huge mistake. Very unfortunate that they weren't able to combo that up. Obviously, as you can see, OD, Marana, is a really good combo, but only if you've practiced it well enough. And it seems like some factor came into play. You can say lag, whatever, but
Thug is very deep. He's actually right in front of the tower, and Lil will stay hanging around, so he bumps him with the fissure. Shrapnel will not lock him in place. He got off the good quick prison on the Sniper, so no further harassment would come. But this is trouble for Thug, because Sniper is winning this lane by double the CS right now.
So yeah, this is going to give a really early advantage to a hero that is already really good against OD. The headshot is really strong, and you can generally keep your distance where you don't have to worry about imprisonment at level 1. As you max it out, it gets the extra cast range, and then you can't really avoid it. But for right now, Lil is doing a really good job helping the Sniper succeed even more so, and unfortunately Spartan, with that missed time, has not been able to make such an impact.
Yeah, he's looking at eyeballing opportunities to go for Ramses, but getting an arrow on a Jug, especially one who's quick-witted, will be able to easily Blade Fury away from any sort of trouble. So opportunities are not going to be coming as easy unless the Sniper is caught out of position. Now there is a prison, an arrow will fly forward, but will not be able to find its mark, and suddenly Thug is caught in a bit of a pickle, and he goes down. It's going to be no one who picks up the first blood. 2 swings, 2 misses in the mid lane. This time Thug will pay the price for it.
Yep, top lane is going to be some decent damage coming in to Skylark here. It's going to be maybe 3 poisons against him, but an arrow almost actually catches him out the other way. And he can actually just carapace the poison and get the guaranteed stun. Really nicely done by Skylark, which means a kill the other way.
Wow, very well done. Good heads up. And that will allow the takedown and allow Finem to get themselves right back and on the board here. Just taking down the casual support. This is a big boost, of course, for the Knicks. And for Spartan finally get involved in something. Yeah. But yeah, now Spartan walks out the other way. Does not have the leap, obviously, committing it in to go for that Shadow Demon kill. So he gets punished.
Yeah, I think Solo had to risk the Shadow Poison release a little bit earlier. If you just let it play out, obviously it's going to get carapaced, and that put him in a different spot. But you're kind of panicking in those situations with the extra hero getting involved, and I don't blame him that it's not.
Astral into arrow. It comes, but it might be too late again.
Like, they opened with this. They started off the draft with a snap pick. OD, Marana, Spartan, you got this. And now he's missed 3 arrows. I mean, one of them was kind of bad setup, but 2 of them were perfect setup. And so far, nothing. I really do feel like that's a morale breaker, if nothing else.
Probably the biggest drawback to support Maranas, too, and the thing that you always have to question when one is picked up, or it looks like it's going to be picked up in a draft, is when it doesn't work out in the early game, what happens then? Top lane, disruption. Skylark runs up into the right now to avoid the trouble, but there's already 2 stacks of poison and a full Blade Fury set of damage. Make it 3 stacks. Carapace trying to slow him down, but walks up, just gives a firm spank with the sword. Ramsey will claim that one.
Yeah, so, I mean, while Madara is handling the bottom lane quite well, the top lane is going to get further and further out of hand. All Nyx really needs to do, though, is get level 6. So it's not the end of the world that he's kind of struggling in terms of, like, getting evolved. He's got 12 CS, more than I expected, and he's only died the 1 time. Not great, but considering that Lil is putting a lot of tension on top and not just mid, it's kind of the trade-off you get. Bottom tier 1 will fall to Madara here. Actually, the Radiant pick it up. But either way, everybody's getting some good gold momentum, and Skylark should have his Arcane Vendetta at an okay time. So I'm really not worried about him. I'm much more worried about the OD and the Marana. You committed for this early in the draft. You're not making the spells connect. Oh, a blind arrow would have been something to talk about, but so far Spartan is like 0-4 on that, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have
0-5.
Try to keep the chin up, shake that one off a bit, but yeah, it is looking like a 2 lanes win in here for Virtus Pro to the one of FMF
if you don't hit arrows, like, what is the point of picking a Marana? 0-6. Like, Moonlight Shadow is like the only extra utility you really get. You have to hit arrows. Support Marana has always been that way. And so far, just nothing is connecting. I don't know if he's reading the game wrong. I don't know if ping was a factor at any of these, where they just got like a lag hiccup or something with the mistiming, or he just literally hasn't practiced it well enough to be in the confident position. But he goes from an axe, losing Tranquil Boots, to a 0-6 on arrows, Marana. He's got to find something soon.
Wars are going to be dropped, so they will quickly see the possible approach of Spartan here, who changes course, throws down the arrow, and will get the hell out of trouble before Lil tries to show up. And they'll see the rotation coming in now. But things continue to work out pretty nicely here. Madara is claiming the top of the net worth, while everyone else is kind of getting caught up in little skirmishes and hopping around their lanes a bit. Madara does continue to just farm his way. Top lane, disruption. It's Solo, though, trapped in the corner, but here comes an Omni-Slash for Skylark.
Almost. That was actually a really good heads-up play from him, but he didn't pop the Fairy Fire, and more importantly, Lil just was there. If Lil wasn't there, I actually think he lives, despite Omni-Slash.
They get that arrow finally on the mid lane, onto no one. but Solo, unfortunately, is not going to be able to help him out. It looks like his disruption was on cooldown from the previous skirmish, so they will finally make that little man pay.
Yeah, arrow actually going to still fly out, but it looks like that's not going to happen. Even still, though, that's such a big kill. I mean, first of all, Spartan gets out of his rut. Second of all, the OD gets the progression he needs up against his nemesis, the sniper. And yeah, it comes down to the fact that Solo had just used his disruption, and that cooldown is fairly long. Like, people forget that that's a 27-second cooldown. Like, people talk about Metamorphosis, Tombstone having a long cooldown. 27 seconds is a long time, too.
Yeah.
And it's something where SD can't be playing offensively and defensively in the early game.
Looks like Virtus Pro are trying to make a setup happen here in the mid lane. We have Pasha just smoked up. And there's the roar. He's going to be on for Spartan. Cute little support with a snipe coming in.
Oh.
He leapt, but the snipe was canceled and reset out. Nicely done from no one.
Yep. Able to keep vision and able to keep range. That's the sniper. That's pretty much what you do. You keep vision, you keep range, and you keep getting kills. But in the meantime, bottom lane is being pressured heavily. Madara has kept his Aquila on. He's actually found Solo. And, like, now that there's no disruption, he's actually fearless. Like, he's going to go, shouldn't dive further, but one more poke shouldn't hurt. And actually, yeah, he can just ulti.
Yeah, just get it and ulti out.
Yeah, if nobody else TPs, then yeah, that works perfectly fine. And if you think about it, the reason why the Weaver is such a good last pick here is because there's so little control. There's only the Earthshaker.
Okay, Lil and Skylark crossing paths. The arrow, though, is the connection onto no one. There's that ward up and above. This spot him rotating over, and they catch him on that beautiful hallway. Lil does his best, gets a nice two-man stun to slow them down, but eventually he will get welcomed with his own stun. Nice double-man crush or connection there by Skylark, but it looks like it was good enough. Oh, no, it wasn't. Madara catches up, scouts out no one, finishes him off, and now thinks about dancing around with the Beastmaster
coming through too.
Lil very low. Eventually they'll get in. Skylark is able to get the last hit jab. Ice Blast comes on forward, and I don't think it caught a target, but nonetheless, still rumbling out. Madara looking for another pickoff on his support. He just took him out in the bottom lane. Now he's going to look for another grab.
Oh, is he actually going? This might be a bad decision. Like, the last one was really, really good, but this one could be punished pretty heavily.
Meanwhile, Skylark will be taken down by Ramses. Madara, is he going to get the... Yes, he will.
He will, but I think he dies. He doesn't have a TP. Oh, he just got a TP off the courier. 5 seconds on cooldown. He just needs to get some time, some space. No!
Oh, Flying Piggy tried his best to be able to drop off the poor little TP, but boom! There's the snipe. No one, after being taken down not once but twice, will finally be able to get a little bit of vengeance here.
That man, this sniper just needs to upgrade from a sniper to an exterminator, because these bugs need to be squished. They're just running around, pitter-patter, just being huge nuisances. And the Shadow Demon, he doesn't have a really good response to it. Like, Disruption is such a bad spell against Weaver. The Roar is great, the Earthshaker spells are great, but Shadow Demon has nothing against this Weaver, and what the end result is that you're very frustrated by it.
Ice Blast is coming, but it's not on the mark at all. They actually spotted someone else out, and suddenly, oh no, swing and a miss on the stun. Arrow also going to be missed, and I think Skylark may pay the price for it. Pops out his Carapace to try to slow the roll, but eventually he will pay the price. Misfire comes out from Finem once more.
Yeah, I don't know why you open. If the Ice Blast doesn't connect, you just walk away. Like that's bottom line.
Impale stun with Mirana's arrow, I think could have been enough to lock him down, but with the stun missing, yeah. No chance at all. And Finem will pay the price. And you don't want to be handing those things over. It's match point for Virtus Pro here. And they'll take any sort of inch they can.
Yeah, Solo burning his entire mana pool, gets 8 Shadow Poison, stacks up on some of these neutral creeps, finally burns it all down. Just trying to come online in a significant way. Otherwise, if he just goes out to the lane, he probably just feeds. Like, the best role he can actually play right now in this game is bait. Like, bait so the Weaver gets over aggressive so that they can find a kill on Madara through something like a Primal Roar.
They need those level 6s, though, on these supports. It looks like, I think Lil just got a tome, because he just suddenly jumped up from like low level 5.
Ice Blast will connect this time. That's a short range one. And he's dead.
See you later, Pasha. Crumbled apart. Good connection on that one. Good setup by Skylark.
Oh, nice time lapse away. Madara home free.
Makes it away from trouble as the Fisher comes forward, and suddenly Finem will scoot out the other direction. So we look at the overall recap, and suddenly, Blaze, it's Finem's game in net worth and XP. Not by a whole lot whatsoever, but
I don't even pay much heed to those graphs because there's one much more important thing that Finem have going for them, and that's this Ancient Apparition. Yeah, he's missed a few Ice Blasts because he's literally across the entire map, but that's a good thing. This Ancient Apparition, he got the free jungle, like you talked about, because he didn't have a lane contested. The Beastmaster was Iron Talon jungling, so the AA is jungling. And then, when Madara says, hey, I'm a combat carry, I can get involved and start diving tier 2 towers up top, the Ancient Apparition says, cool, you guys do that, I'll sit here and farm. He has a Midas here at 11 minutes.
That's nuts.
And he's going to be able to get an Aghanims at like 22.
That's nuts.
It's going to be great. That's really the strength of Finem right now, is not just like their current slight 1,500 net worth lead, it's that lead is a Midas.
Oh, Madara! Sakuchi's his way into what is probably the worst spot you could ask for.
No!
5 left is out! Okay.
If he lives, the flames would be real for Solo. It was actually really close. What Disruption does is merely buy time for Weaver to get spells off, and that's bad. That's really, really bad. If that sentry's not there, use Shikuchi. If it is, then you try to time-lapse and hopefully you have enough time. Luckily, there's like aftershocks and stuff, but that is literally what throws are made of, that kind of disruption. Like just, I understand what he was going for, and it can be good, but it's so scary if you mistime that, if you misjudge what kind of damage your teammates can do. This Shadow, it's a hard Shadow Demon game. Like, I don't usually get to say that because usually it's like, oh, nice arrow down bottom. Lil caught out, pretty easy kill.
Oh no, Spartan is like, not that core Mirana, so only level 2 Starstorm doesn't do quite enough damage, but no one rotates in, goes for the snipe, gets connection on the Skylark here, but he has plenty of life to be able to make it back and away.
But yeah, so usually Shadow Demon is a very simple hero these days. He's like, I'll just disrupt the hero that has the most agility and get easy illusions.
Oh, Solo casually walking in thinking he's got a purge connection on for OD, but Madara quickly walks in and says, what do you think you're doing? Takes him apart, and that's going to lead to a breezy tier number 1 in the mid lane.
Oh, and actually going to go for Vendetta.
They might be able to get no one here. It looks like they will. Good connection, good setup by Skylark. They're looking for the finish, but wonderful fissure comes out from Lil.
No.
And then the follow-up roar. Madara is so thirsty to get a hold of that kill, is not going to get the grab. Arrow to fly on out. In the meantime, Thug is going to get chunked on down. Good counterplay comes out from Virtus Pro, punishing Finem in their greed.
Yeah, his aggression has worked out so far, so Madara thought he could push his luck, but Primal Roar is waiting for him. He could have time-lapsed out, could have just avoided that fight. Instead, they lose their two most important heroes. Their top net worth Weaver, as well as their secondary in OD. Very costly, over-aggressive maneuver. I mean, at this point now, we're going to see a big comeback goal for VP. The tower falling, the map shifting. Like, a lot changes with that one Primal Roar.
Very nicely done by them to
hold
hold
and a combo
back, but catches back into that one. It's Spartan going down. Juggernaut dishing out the Omni. He's going to be able to do the work.
Yep, just good synchronization. Lil and Solo, they have not missed a combo. Like, while we saw Imprison Arrows kind of whiffing, we have seen Disruption and Earthshaker really syncing up, either with Enchant Totem or with Fissure. They're able to follow it up and get the guaranteed disable that they need to get these kinds of kills, because otherwise, soon enough, you're going to be dealing with OD self-imprisoning and then blinking away. Obviously, Weaver has 2 spells that he can get off to escape, and in often cases, Leap or Spike Carapace can do the same thing. So timing is critical, and VP are starting to step up their game.
So should Finem take this moment to just reset a bit and just go back into their grind to farm, or is that not advised with Virtus Pro's kind of a lineup? I feel like they could benefit from a little bit of farm. Weaver had put the build-up towards the Lincolns on hold quite a bit, so now he can look to finish it. And obviously the OD can build up what I would imagine being towards the first part of his Hurricane fight.
Yeah, MNT is also going to continue to benefit from Midas, but they saw an opportunity to gank the Juggernaut, so they go for it. The Juggernaut TP, so they take the tower. It seems pretty bread and butter. At this point, I don't think they should be over-aggressive. This tier 2, they're going to poke at it, but they're only going to commit to it if they feel there's a reason to, and in fact, they're just already TPing out.
Heading towards the bottom, they might have the idea that Virtus Pro heading towards the Roche Pit, but they actually scout them out as they're trying to get some wards down. Madara thinks about making a move in, ditches out the swarm, and then pulls off. Good leap to avoid, but now Lil, the one in trouble, gets quickly bursted down. Decent Ice Blast, not able to get the grab onto Ramses. Pasha, though, is the man left behind, and Madara begins to slowly bring him down. And will be able to take down the Beastmaster as he does a little bit of a ring around the Rosie on the trees.
Connected.
Arrow connection onto Solo means that he will also be killed. Double kill for Thug and a self-Astral.
Victory, Astral.
Yeah, right?
All right, so they're actually going to look at Roshan now. Nyx can tank through this a bit, but they really need to get the Arcane Orb rolling if they're going to actually be able to kill him off. Another arrow coming through. Dire do not see this currently, but I'm sure they have a good idea about it. Shrapnel will come through, and I think VP will respond quick enough to contest.
Uh-oh. The second no one shows himself, he just runs right back. Skylark's right there, goes for the strike even though Ramses is right beside him and dishes out the Omni Slash and will pay the price for it. Got very bloodthirsty looking to go for the sniper, but I guess didn't see that the jug was nearby. And happy to commit the Omni. He will soak that one up while Spartan also looking to zone them back. They're just distracting him. A jumping Echo comes out from Lil. He's not going to be able to get the snag. Madara is going to be able to grab the Aegis, but he could lose that first life here. Time lapse will be able to come off, but the Blade Fury damage is going to be too good.
Great disruption
Follow-up disruption will connect, and that will be the Aegis. He could end up losing both of his lives here.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah,
like
he will.
When you commit 3 Sentry Wards to the pit, you better squish that bug. At that point, yeah, the Roche takes too long for a lineup like Ad Finims, and the fact that they had 2 heroes kind of goofing around with Juggernaut and Sniper to the northwest really cost them time. So the Earthshaker, he doesn't last hit Roche, he doesn't steal the Aegis. That would have made that really bad for Ad Finim, but still, they're able to get the AoE, get the stuns, get the kill. And speaking of, Lil will be killed off in the mid lane, but more importantly, BP are starting to take a kill lead. They're starting to put pressure towers, and they're starting to bring this game back. If status quo remains, Ad Finim are going to be scary because they get the Axe on the AA, they get big damage for Thug on his ultimate as he improves his item pool, and of course, Weaver gets to do a lot of really good things as well. But VP have a lot of fight in them, and the Necro 3 is almost up for Ipasha, which will help in multiple ways against the Invis, and as well as pushing down towers. I actually think this game is actually pretty even.
It is, you know, maybe next time did opt to wait a bit before committing for any part of the Axe just yet, though. I had to finish out the treads, got a range drops and wards and stuff, so it's not going to be as fast as we were hoping to see, but yeah, nonetheless, it's still in the works, and he still gets all the benefit from the huge XP that comes along with the Midas. So he's actually getting close to level 10. And that alone will be a little bit of a difference. Ice Blast for Spartan. Does get connection with the arrow. Oh, he slides and scoots, but still gets hit from the Ice Blast here, so he's dead for sure. Good snipe, good takedown. Back-to-back picks for Ad Finem.
Sniper Reno. That's an old meme. But, yeah, at this point, I'm kind of surprised. Maybe the treads just gives them enough to survive. Like, they had ultimate of Sniper and a couple other burst things, but in general, I expect him to be rushing Ags at this point. It's such a good item on AA. It's probably one of the best items upgrades in the game, to be honest with you.
Oh, come on. Keeper of the Light. We'll have an argument with that one. Oh. Dust goes out. They're looking for Madara. They have the vision on him, but he will time-lapse back and away.
Clickety-click. These guys, they are very slippery. You have to just always have, like, I think actually Ags would be good for Ipasha after the Necro is finished, because like you need really good lockdown against these heroes.
Uh-oh. They see Spartan. Spartan will know for sure that there's a ward there now, though.
So, I would definitely see the Beastmaster go for like a Blink Aghanims approach now that his Necro's done, and I mean that's a really good upgrade as well. But nah, I would still say, I mean you're a Connell player, I'm an AA player, but I would definitely say the Ice Blast is a much better upgrade.
It is pretty damn ridiculous. The time improvement it gives and the duration is just simply out of control. So almost a death sentence in itself, and something we look forward to seeing, as it's probably been one of the easier games for maybe next time to play as he continues his farm grind. He's getting close. He's got the point booster now he'll be able to pick up. And as for his pro kind of step back and deal with the pressure that's been built towards this top lane. Where is our boy Madara at? He has his Lincoln Sphere now done, Blaze, so he can move forward and start building up some deeps if he so chooses to complement his aggressive behavior that he likes to do. But now has a little bit of a Lincolns to fall back on. What are the options for being able to pop said Lincolns? Solo can help out, of course, with the Purge, but
yeah, I actually think Solo just throws down a random spell. Other than that, I mean,
it's not much.
You can pop it with the first slash of Omni Slash and still keep it going, which is great, but you need detection, and you need to make sure that he's not going to just time-lapse immediately thereafter. Which is, I mean, hard to say when you're popping Lincolns with Omni Slash, so. Yeah,
really.
Really? I don't think there's much, but it's actually going to be a perfect hit there. Mana Burn's going to be doing the trick here, and that's going to be it. So that's the last thing that deserves mentioning is you have to be very quick on your fingers to accomplish it. You have your hotkey for your ranged Necronomicon, but you pop the Necro, you immediately switch and hit Mana Burn. It's no projectile, it's instant hit, and then you have to, and then you roar immediately thereafter. So timing again is rough, but at least you have the detection from the Necro up already. So with a Blink Dagger, it should be pretty easy to execute.
Good quick takedown, and Madara's Lincoln Sphere, unfortunately, is not going to be as effective as he was hoping for.
Oh, Spartan's caught out. This could be bad. He does not see this bird, and I think they'll just jump him.
We'll see. Ice Blast is coming in. There's the snipe. Blast is going to be traded. And they just continue poking away at this tier 2. While that happens, the tier 2 is also getting poked at quite a bit here by Skylark and company.
75 damage at a time.
Not much. Bottom, they did make that move onto Spartan, and they will be able to get the finish. He tried to go hide in the Moonlight Shadow, but not going to be making it too far. All, of course, scouted about with the assistance of that bird. Thanks to Pash. And that will secure their own tier 2. And with the assistance of Thug, they'll also get a tier 2 top lane. Thug is one that had been feeling pretty quiet this game so far, Blaze, but
I mean, we have not seen a single Sands Eclipse, not the entire game. So that's the big thing in mind. Like, he's been farming. I mean, he's got 135 CS. He's been involved in 4 kills, but yeah, he's actually wanted the game to be as quiet as possible, it seems. And so far, so good. But at this point, like, you're trading back and forth. Like, we're seeing wards traded back and forth, a lot of sentries and observers going back and forth. We're seeing these towers now traded back and forth. And just most of the game has been about pickoffs and minor incremental advantages from either side. But it's kind of all building up to one big clash where you see like a wombo combo, Ice Blast, Sandy's Eclipse, or you just see the huge perfect lockdown from the Beastmaster and the Earthshaker.
After rummaging through, they got some vision still here. A nice deep committed ops ward here, which, well, the second I bring it up, it is going to be canceled.
Yeah.
Good job by Finem.
Yeah, there was a Hawk that scouted him out first, but he realized that there was more to it and ends up cleaning that up. We do have a smoke play coming out here, though, and obviously they're looking for any kill they can get.
Ow! Hammer dropped around the head of the little guy. Back in mid lane, though, they're making for their own move. Lincoln's is going to be popped. Time lapse out, and there's the Omni. Another takedown of Madara. It's like his 3rd straight takedown.
They even echo for that, which they didn't need to, but all the same, like, you know, Sniper, Weaver are pretty much equal importance in this game. I would say Odie and Jug are top value, and then the Weaver and the Sniper and their progression is secondary. But at the same time, it seems like it's hard to evaluate because you had like 4 ultimates on one side, but they're all shorter cooldown than the Sands Eclipse. So neither team is ready to fight while those skills are cooldown. And again, it brings us back to this kind of neutral territory where both sides are looking to farm their own side, which personally I think still favors the Midas team with maybe next time continuing to progress.
And he's almost got what looks like the 2nd component put together of his Agnum Scepter, so still has a little bit of a journey ahead of him here, but is still on the right path. And Spartan also. Look at this. I mean, for a start of a guy who wasn't connecting with any sort of arrows and instead kind of losing his life, suddenly has more of an Agnums than even the Ancient Apparition does. So he's making tracks here, and look at the next item investment here by no one. He goes for the Maelstrom, kind of that deep push style. Heavy damage. What else is the big benefit to it, though?
Well, it used to pop Lincolns. That was a treat, but not anymore. Now it's good AoE damage output. You'll wave clear. You'll continue to right click from a distance, and you'll generally be able to put out a lot of damage just with the lightning alone. So it makes it so that they're not a one-trick pony, and actually have some magical damage to bring to the table, and it's good stats overall. So yeah, it's not a bad pickup. He's got his survivability with Pike and Treads, and now he just wanted some damage, which the Maelstrom does bring. In the meantime, Madara actually starting to push. Before it was like the Nyx Assassin made his home up there. Now actually Madara's trying to see what he can do. The reason that Nyx is really good in the top lane in this context is because Ancient Apparition Ice Blast from bottom to top gets this really wide radius, and you're generally going to be able to like kill somebody who's farming the jungle. So it was a means of controlling the dire jungle. Now Madara's just using it for tower pressure so that they can keep VP away from mid and bottom, and that's working, but we'll see if it ends up costing him. The important thing to do for the Weaver here is keep moving. We saw in the mid lane, he tried to time-lapse, and he time-lapsed to the exact same spot because he was farming the wave for 4 seconds. Yeah. What he needs to do is play as if you were up against a clockwork and you want to dodge cogs with laps, and you have to constantly be just scurrying about and changing your position.
Yeah. He will receive his new boots of travel, head away from the trouble in the top lane, and take his business back towards the mid as he will continue to be able to split the pressure. This will allow him to get around the map a lot easier and avoid lingering around too long where he does get himself caught in those awkward and deadly situations. Spartan will scout things out over the Roche with an arrow here, and Dar will continue back on his grind. has that Blightstone, so might finish out the Desolator in the near future. But him and company are going to go to work here on this bottom tier 2. Pings come out from Virtus Pro. Possible defense could be in order.
So a lot of Aghanims coming out very soon for Finem. Like the Nyx Assassin is about to pick his up as well. And while I won't say that it's like the best Aghanims upgrade, oh, Spartan's locked in. No leap, no TP, sayonara.
Yep, they had that dust pre-pop courtesy of Lil, who set the whole thing up with a nice blink fissure. Allows no one to get the finish. Nicely done by him. It is going to be just Spartan who goes down, as the rest of Finem have already hightailed it out of there, but nonetheless, a kill's a kill from Virtus Pro.
Yeah. So with the Nyx Ags, it's kind of situational. Like, it can be a really, really good Aghanim, but it really comes down to where the fights are positioned, if you're able to set up in time. Burrow is now a 1.5 second cast, so you're not able to really just uproot yourself and move wherever you want. You have to kind of get in place as a turret, as a lurker, and make sure that you're able to get the most of your spells. That said, I mean, the high ground defense here is really scary.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
as it always tends to be when Nyx Assassin tends to pick up his Aghanim Scepter. This could help things out for Finem and trying to fend off Virtus Pro in any sort of future advancement, but we'll have to see if they still want to kind of utilize it in a sense of making a setup play between that and, of course, that Ice Blast, which, by the way, is only one component away from being an Ag's Ice Blast.
So you're pushing into Ice Vortex, Ice Blast, OD can potentially like imprison creeps and blink or pike out. And you also have this Starstorm from Mirana, especially when she picks up her Blink Dagger. The problem is getting close enough to actually make use of those spells when you're defending your high ground. It looks like Madara will be fine. But when you're defending your high ground, the big thing here is that Sniper is going to be attacking at long range. In fact, the longest range of the game at 1090. Only techies with a Dragon Lance can outrange that. So 1090, low ground to high ground siege, with vision provided from Hawk, from Shrapnel. To actually get out there and contest it, it's a lot harder. Even the Nyx Assassin will struggle in that department.
Yeah, Sniper plays both sides of that role really well. Now with the Dragon Lance, his low ground siege is just tremendous, and his own high ground defense is also very, very nice. The way that Finem are going to be able to break inside that base seems pretty unlikely to be a deep commitment onto a Sniper, so they have to hope for maybe an outside skirmish or something to be able to take the advantage to have their own push. So we'll have to see. As top lane, they continue to kind of waltz on down here, looking to draw VP back from their own push down this mid lane. And continue to just kind of stall things out. Here they go now. So Virtus Pro are going to have to do something about it. Drum's even committed. Dar's in the high ground. One TP. Burrow and pulling away on the back of a Moonlight Shadow. All right, that ended quickly.
Yeah, it seems like neither team wants to commit without confidence. Like, obviously, this is a match point for Finem. If Virtus Pro can take this, then they're going to be like a few weeks away from heading over here to LA. But we do have no one caught out of position. Hurricane Pike will get him the distance he needs. But they have the ward vision. I think this is what they wanted, just a little bit of confidence in their next play.
Oh, no. Could have possibly considered a smoke destroy, but nonetheless, doesn't matter. Oh, Leap doesn't... Nope, he gets him connected at the end. No one gets the last shot in, and they will make Spartan pay for chasing. And now comes the fight back from Virtus Pro, but looks like Finem is already on the way back.
Yeah. So, like, Virtus Pro, they know that they're in a really good position in this game, that if they can just break, they're one ancient away from punching their tickets to Los Angeles. They're in a really good spot. But at Finem, they are ready to fight tooth and nail for their high ground. They have all the tools they need. Now they have this Aghanims on the Ancient Apparition. They can continue to sustain themselves in the well, while also making it possible for Virtus Pro to stay healthy. And combining that up with all their other long-range abilities, like the Burrow Nyx Assassin, they have a lot of really good opportunities to just stall this out.
This is Virtus Pro sieging tactics at work, though. No one way back and behind, getting off some clean little shots onto the tower. With some, of course, solo-assisted Jug illusions to help siege in the front lines. We have to see what Finem are going to be looking to do. Skylark goes to work, burning down some of these illusions, and it's slow and steady right now from Virtus Pro. Madara not looking to be back in defending just yet, has a boots of travel to be there, of course, but is finding his business split pressuring this top lane instead.
Now 2 BKBs up, one for the Jug, one for the Sniper, could be really big.
Oh! There goes Lil making the move for a big dunk. Will stop Thug in his tracks. He does not have a buyback now. They got a good connection for the Ice Blast, but the follow-up could not happen. That is Lil just stopping the show. Arrow will connect onto Solo, but the racks are going to be going down. Virtus Pro making their first real hard assault into the base. While this happens, Madara continues to split push his top lane, but not looking to participate in this. They're just going to have to chuck this one up to a loss.
Yeah, they have definitely lost their mid lane. Whether or not Madara can make anything of it still remains to be seen, but I doubt he's going to be able to do anything to a Juggernaut in this situation. Yeah, just trading hits back and forth, but Madara really doesn't have any long-term plan here.
Yep. Time walks, makes himself out and away, but we have Lil with a
Lil
dust. He'll time a dust if he wants.
Gets it. No
Oh,
Lincoln spot there.
Moves in, and they might get it. They will. Lil playing a hell of a game.
Really has. I mean, he has changed the scope of the top lane and the mid lane throughout the early part of the game, and now finding pickoffs like this, it's just so consequential, as it makes it very difficult for Madara to feel confident to continue to rat the game out. And with one lane of racks at disadvantage, Finem are no longer able to play a neutral game. They are no longer able to just kind of trade back and forth and rest on their laurels. They have to make something happen. They have to smoke. They have to get ambitious as soon as Weaver responds, because this is pretty much, it's match point and it's go time.
We'll have to see what they can do out of it. They have about 30 more seconds before Madara is going to be back up in an action here. So the rest of them get in their defensive positions while Virtus Pro can confidently continue their farm and start picking up some new items here. A nice defusal, BKB now shining here onto Ramses. He makes his way all the way through bottom with the rest of his comrades. Lil already picking up a point booster, so Octarine Core / Agnems in his future.
Yeah, I actually think the Aghanim is really good against Weaver, and even Nyx Assassin, he could get right on top of him. So, yeah, I don't actually think it's particularly bad this game.
That's right, yeah, it's got the hopping Chant Totem.
Yeah, it's a pretty unique mechanic. Mini games it's completely useless, but in this game I actually think it could be really effective.
We'll see if we get treated to such soon enough, but for now Virtus Pro just kind of doing things cool, calm, and casual, as they have just one more little outer tower to deal with here on the top lane on the side of Finem. So just kind of going down the docket of objectives, what's necessary.
Trying to bait mid here. They see illusions coming in. They thought that might be for Shadow Demon, but they're not going to find anything in this jungle, and they're going to end up having to just try to go for a flank play for the top tower.
They spot each other. Spartan dishes out the Moonlight Shadow. There's a sentry on the lower ground, though.
Oh, he tried to force staff Piranha.
And the force staff actually was not going to be met on forward. He was facing the side. Skylark looking to creep it from the other front. And now it's going to be the commitment. Primal Roar on for Spartan, while they're going to go ahead and try to get a hold of Thug. BKB is looking to make chase, trying to get a Lapasha on one side, while Omni breaks out on the other. It's just all over the place. As they try to make the go, Self-Astral will cancel out that Omni. Ramses pops his BKB, runs back and out as Lil walks on forward, gets the dunk off, gets the finish. Taking out Thug. Madara with the DD. Has to dish out the bugs, but that Fissure keeps him away from the rest of the fight so they can get the cleanup on the Skylark. It's going to be Ramses who grabs it and goes godlike now. Madara, one of the lone survivors here with Spartan. Fissure will not lock him in on the inside, so he makes a hasty and quick retreat.
Yeah, in the middle of that, Madara got a double damage room, but just were not able to make enough use of it. Really good usage of the Astral Imprisonment from Thug. Saved the AA from the Roar and also helped himself out of Omni Slash, but end of the day, they are having a real challenge ahead of them with these BKBs. Fighting into two BKBs that are like 8+ seconds with this kind of a lineup is just really difficult, because their only major source of physical damage is this Weaver, who just isn't enough farmed. He's got some good defensive items, some good like ratting items, but he doesn't have that much raw physical damage.
Spartan gets into a 1v1 here with Lil with good connection, but this time Lil has a lot of life, so it's not going to be that easy solo takedown than it was previously there, Spartan. So they'll settle for what it's worth and have to let that one go. Now Virtus Pro seriously on the up and up, 27-18 this game. Look how neck and neck it was up until, well, that one point.
Exactly.
And it broke all the way down to a 10K net worth advantage when they decided to rip up that mid lane.
Yeah, just a bit of a breaking point there for Finem, and it's going to be very difficult to come back from. They have to keep on forcing these fights, like the one we just saw, but at the same time, minimizing their losses while getting BKB charges down. Yeah, at the same time, they'll lose BKB charges on Thug, but that's not nearly as important as taking it down on the Sniper and the Juggernaut. So they have to force fights that aren't consequential to the scope of the game, like they're not going to lose racks off of it, and eventually start fighting when, for real, when these BKBs are lower. Other than that, it's pick-off game. I would love to see Skylar just make a move towards the Dire Jungle or something and try to kind of throw it back to when pick-offs were actually an option this game.
They'll need to do so if they want to try to get this series to a Game 5, but Virtus Pro, they're coming and knocking on the southern door. We'll have to see. They're looking to follow through with it or not. They could just play the safer game. Roshan's going to be coming up any second now, and Ramses is hanging behind, I would imagine, to scope it out. So we'll have to see if it's in Finem's best interest if they want to try to contest it or not.
I don't think you contest the pit. As much as it sucks to have Aegis and Cheese in the enemy's hands, it's much harder to actually get involved. Like the OD, but someone have to find his way to the pit, get an ultimate off without any intelligence stolen. At the same time, the Ice Blast comes down. It's too much to ask for.
Ice Blast not even over the Roche pit, unfortunately. They saw it though, over the tower. Apparently they pinged it. But nonetheless, that is a Roche, and that is an Aegis for no one on his Sniper. And now Virtus Pro have all they could ask for to try to close things out here. And the pressure is on Finem in their high ground defense. Unless they want to pull out some sort of cheeky smoke wraparound play. It's what can work sometimes, but not always, as we saw in our earlier series of VP versus Liquid.
Lil has just been such an MVP this game. He's been able to contribute so much across the board. His Fishers have been really on point. I mean, maybe next time showed some really good Fisher play earlier, but it's been the Lil game here. And I just got to wonder if Earthshaker's back in the meta in full, like after this kind of a tournament where he went from a non-pick to two teams destroying tier 1 opponents with it. I would love to see more of this hero, and in this case, we're going to be seeing some Aghanim Scepter jump action. So.
All right. Whee! That's fun.
Mobile, effective at getting the Aftershock exactly where you want it to be, which is important against a Weaver. And, you know, it looks cool.
He's running his best to get out there and put some Magnum's action to use right now, because it's time for Virtus Pro to make their approach down here from the top. Maybe next time we'll try to slow it down. He gets one preemptive Ice Blast off, and then we'll have another available by the time the push is here. But he gets good connection onto 2. Nice disruption will kind of slow down a little bit of the lingering damage, but trouble keeps coming.
It's like the Tyrannosaurus footprints in Jurassic Park. It's like you just hear it pounding away.
Yep.
Jump after jump after jump. It's imposing, it's intimidating, and it's probably their demise. They won't even get the arrow on no one as the tier 3 up top is broken, and they are in a desperate position here to try to prevent.
How far away he can do work on these racks. It is just something that Finem cannot even, they cannot stretch out that far, because everyone from Virtus Pro is waiting behind the Sniper, and he has 2 lives to work with too. There's Nero, hoping someone will walk back into it.
Almost had an opportunity there, but he just gets disrupted, and it completely resets everything.
That's the racks. Here's going to be the jump in. It's going to be a roar and quick destruction onto Skylar possibly, but the Prison won't be able to get the save, and now Thug's the one going to be in trouble, and he just gets chopped on down by Ramses. Not just one, but 2 of them as he gets the second follow-up kill, a double kill. As he takes down MNT. Buybacks are going to be forced out now from Finem as they chunk through 2. They've already lost 1 Rax. Virtus Pro could walk away with their heads held high now, but they're feeling pretty good. They eat the cheese and they get right back into the grind. Jump in, dunk, and a double enchant totem on top of it. Lil putting the emphatic statement on this game as they seem to want to claim it. They want to come out to the summit, and they will do it. Virtus Pro will make their return to the Summit 6 land. Fortunately for Finem, they come up just a bit short here in the grand finals.
Wonderful rematch to conclude this all out, having been just annihilated by Finem in the previous series. Now, and along with that, the incident that occurred in the Summit 5, now here Summit 6, we will have one more CIS team to add to the roster, and it should be a pretty interesting LAN event. I mean, we've already got, what, Digital Chaos, OG, Evil Geniuses, Wings, as well as now NP, Faceless, and Virtus Pro. This is going to be a hell of a LAN, man.
We do still have, of course, one more spot to be claimed from a certain Chinese team, but we still have like two more days ahead of us of that kind of action before it is all fizzled out. But Yeah, what a show indeed. The second time straight we're going to have Virtus Pro win the grand final. I'd imagine this time there should be no problems or DQs, and that Finem will not have to take any sort of def win.
Don't do it to me, Ramses. Come on.
Yeah, it's like, well, actually, Aloha Dance was actually playing as no one. But nonetheless, congratulations again to Virtus Pro. We look forward to having him out and having him participate and bringing that awesome, sexy little Earthshaker along with him. Finem, valiant journey so far. We look forward to more from them for the future. It's been a interesting European qualifier run. We've been seeing a lot of crazy picks along the way as the meta continues to evolve and roll forward. Any final thoughts as we wrap things up? We only have one more qualifier to go, Blaze.
I mean, I just can't wait to see what the major qualifiers bring. I mean, yes, China's wrapping up, but not only do we have the summit only in not even a month. That's just so amazing that we're able to pull it together and bring it to fruition here in just a few weeks. But on top of that, next week you got the Boston qualifiers. We're going to see a lot of these same teams fighting it out there for a major slot, and the meta continues to evolve. We saw the support PA come out of the BTS series from Virtus Pro, and that became a thing overnight. And then now we see support Weavers. You're seeing Earthshaker come back.
We saw that offlane Lesh in America.
Exactly. And so with these little sub patches continuing to tone down the peak of the draft and the things that are completely out of line with Icepro's vision on the game, what we're seeing is every patch more and more unique strategies creep up and more unique playstyles that just make the game so interesting. So awesome showing here in the Summit Europe, but across the board, can't wait for this next season of Dota 2 to come in full swing.
It's going to be awesome, man. So with that said, folks, we're all done with our coverage for now. We should be back later in the day for some Chinese qualifier action, but that does it for us. Shoutouts, of course, and thanks for joining me, Blaze. You can hit him with some support. Catch him on his Twitter, @BlazeCasting. You can catch myself over at Coddle Guy. But for Beyond the Summit, we are out. We'll catch you guys later. If you missed any of the coverage from today, be sure to go check out the Beyond the Summit YouTube channel where we upload all of our VODs. Take care and enjoy the rest of your Dota.